Hello guys, welcome back to another video on the channel, and today is a video which I think most of you are probably looking forward to. It is my official Championship 2022/2023 table predictions. Now before we get into this, obviously this is all just for a little bit of fun at the end of the day. I'm not going to get every single team spot on. It is almost impossible to predict the championship table, but we're here to do it just for a little bit of a laugh. And also, you know, teams could make more signings between now and when the season starts. You know, between now recording on the 26th of July and between the start of the season, because of course transfer window is still open, so teams can make more signings, which could either boost them up a few places and lower some other teams down. So take these predictions with a pinch of salt as well. And also, if you enjoy this, make sure to like and subscribe if you're new, and maybe comment your predictions for each team in the comments down below. I'll be interested to see where you guys put each team as well. But without enough rambling on, let's get into my championship table predictions. So coming in 24th at the foot of the championship table, it is a newly promoted side, and it is Rotherham. Now I would love Rotherham to stay up. Obviously they've been yo-yoing between the championship and League One a few years now, but you look at the players they've let go and you can't really see Rotherham surviving, unfortunately. You know, they've lost the likes of Michael Smith and Michael Hickway, both Sheffield Wednesday. Michael Smith being their top scorer in League One last season, and their top scorer, I do believe, in their most recent season in the Championship. And Michael Hickway was another key player for Rotherham last season. And also they've lost Freddie Dapo, who was also another key player. He's gone to Ipswich Town. I do like some of their defensive signings, you know, the likes of Peter Kioso, Jamie McCart and Cohen Bramall. They've made they've done decent business in the striker department. The likes of Connor Washington, Tom Eaves joining the club. And I do like their midfield, the likes of Barlaser and Wiles. They're pretty good midfielders, but I just can't really see Rotherham scoring that many goals this season, due to the fact they've lost their top scorer from last season in Michael Smith, and along with other key players like Hickway and Adapo as well. So that's why I've got Rotherham in 24th. And at 23rd in my championship table predictions, I've put Birmingham. Now Birmingham have been going through a lot of chaos at the moment with their new ownership, and they've brought in a new manager as well in John Eustace, who was the former QPR assistant manager. Was linked with the Swansea job last year. Of course, Russell Martin took the Swansea job instead, and now Eustace is at Blues. And I think he has potential, but I think the manager's just come at the wrong time, unfortunately. And you know, whilst Birmingham are under all this chaos due to their new ownership and, you know, all the unknowns that's going on at the club, I do like some of their signs they've made, the likes of goalkeeper John Ruddy and Dion Sanderson as a centre back, both from Wolves, and also Plachetta on loan from Norwich. He looks decent, but you know, they've also lost the likes of Lautaro and Ono Hernandez going back to Forest and Norwich respectively, and they've lost Ivan Sonic, who's gone out on loan to Hertha Berlin. So I can't really see where the goals are coming from Birmingham, just like Rotherham, because, you know, they've got their strikers now are Hogan, Jukovic and Deeney. They're not the most prolific strikers anymore, so I can't really see Birmingham scoring enough goals to survive, unfortunately. So that's why I have them in 23rd. The last relegation spot in my table, it pains me to say really, because I thought they could actually improve on where they finished last season, but due to their manager leaving, I think they'll struggle this season, and that is Blackpool. They lost probably one of the reasons why they were so successful in the Championship last season. Their manager Neil Critchley has gone to Aston Villa's assistant head coach role, and yeah, they've appointed Michael Apton, who doesn't fill me with too much confidence. He is their shortest ever serving manager in their history, when he managed just 11 games for them, and now he's back at the club, and yeah, quite a lot of Blackpool fans are not too keen on him really. You know, I think he's a decent League One manager, but I'm not sure about him in the Championship. You know, Blackpool, they've kept most of their players from last season, but I felt like that squad massively overachieved, and it was down to their manager Neil Critchley, I believe, in my opinion. They have made some decent signings, the likes of Fiorini and Reece Williams on loan from Man City and Liverpool, and they also signed Dominic Thompson, centre back, I believe, from or left back from Brentford. So they made decent signings, but I just feel like they're going to struggle under Michael Appleton, and that's why I have them in my final relegation spot. In 21st, just surviving, I've got Reading. Yes, Reading under Paul Ince. They're under another transfer embargo. They're only allowed to sign, you know, free players or loan players. Signings they've made so far include likes of goalkeeper Joe Lumley, Sam Hutchinson from Sheffield Wednesday. Tyrese Fornah, I think, is probably the best best signing on loan from Forest. He's a midfielder. They also re-signed Shane Long from Southampton. Yeah, but they've also lost key players like John Swift, Josh Laurent and Andy Renamotta. So I feel like they will struggle this season, Reading. I feel like it's going to be another relegation battle on a Paul Ince, but I feel like they have enough juice to survive. Honestly, it could either be Reading or Blackpool, really, to be honest, or even a team that I got above Reading that goes down. But yeah, I'm putting Reading in my 21st spot. If on the list, then I've got Wigan Athletic. Now, Wigan obviously won League One last season under manager Liam Richardson. Will Keane scoring like 25 plus goals in that season. Not sure if he's going to replicate it this season, Championship. Not sure how many goals they will score this season, Wigan. Going to have to rely on the likes of Charlie White and Callum Lang to provide the goals for them. I do like their signing of Ryan Nyambe from Blackburn Rovers. I think he's a very good defender. But apart from that, they haven't really signed anyone. So I'm not sure how well they're gonna do. I could boost them up a couple of places maybe if they do more transfer business. But for now, I put them in my 20th spot. I feel like they'll just have enough to survive, but I can't really put them any higher than that due to the fact that they haven't done much in the transfer window so far. So 20th, I've put Wigan Athletic. Coming in 19th is the final promoted side, Sunderland. Now, I do really like the look of Sunderland this year. Alex Neil is a decent manager. He did pretty well with Preston. Obviously got Norwich promoted a few years ago now. But yeah, I do really like the look of Sunderland this year. I do like their signings in Jack Clark, Dan Ballard, and the permanent sign of Leon Diaku as well. I think those are really good signs for Sunderland. They haven't really lost anyone too major as well. You know, they've kept the core group of players that they had from last season, so that's still there with them. I'm not sure how well Ross Stewart is going to adapt to the Championship. We'll have to wait and see. But I feel like Sunderland have got a decent manager at the helm, and that's why I think they will be able to survive and potentially in the future maybe even push for promotion, because you know Sunderland aren't going to want to stay in the Championship for very long. They're going to try and want to get back to the Premier League, especially with their local rivals Newcastle, you know, being the richest club in the world now. You know, they're going to they're going to be top 4 side in a few years. So Sunderland are really going to want to be back in the Premier League, battling out with their rivals Newcastle. So, but for now, I've put them in 19th. 18th place. This may shock a lot of you guys, but I have gone for Huddersfield Town. Now Huddersfield, they've lost 3 key people from last season, where they made it all the way to the playoff final. That is their manager Carlos Corbrand departing, Harry Toffolo, their left back, and Lewis O'Brien, one of their midfielders. Both of those players leaving for Nottingham Forest, who beat them in the playoff final at Wembley. And yeah, I feel like without those three key assets really being there, I feel like Huddersfield are going to really struggle. They have made some decent signings like Kasumu and Rudoni from MK Dons and FC Wimbledon, but I feel like with the amount of outgoings that they've suffered, I feel like they're going to really struggle, especially the unknown of how well Danny Schofield is. He's very inexperienced. This is going to be his first managerial job he's taken, and yeah, I feel like Huddersfield will struggle this season. Maybe if Danny Schofield gets his team ticking, maybe a little bit higher, but it's making out a shock to you guys. But I'm putting Huddersfield in 18th. Another shock in 17th, potentially. I've gone with Blackburn Rovers. Now, Blackburn have lost key players already, like sort of Joe Rothwell to Bournemouth and Darren Lenihan, centre back, to Middlesbrough. And also they're under another new manager in John Dow Thomason, who has decent experience managing in the Champions League, but in the Championship I'm not sure how well he's going to do. He hasn't had any experience in English football managing, and yeah, I feel like if they lose Brereton Diaz, they could really struggle. And they've also lost like Ryan Giles as well, who's now gone out on loan to Middlesbrough. So I feel like Blackburn will struggle. If they keep Brereton Diaz, maybe I can boost them a little bit higher, but for now I've got Blackburn in 17th. 16th place is my club's, potentially I'd say biggest rivals in the Championship. It is Cardiff. Now Cardiff have had an absolute overhaul of their squad. They signed 12 players, just to name a few. Conor Dowder from Bristol City, Andy Ruminotta from Reading, Jamlu Collins from the German league, I'm pretty sure, and yeah, just a whole load of other players. My key outgoings really include the likes of Alex Smithies and James Collins, but yeah, they've done really well to replace Alex Smithies with 2 goalkeepers signed in Ryan Alsop and also Jack Alnwick. So I feel like, I don't know, maybe Cardiff can be a little bit higher in the table, but it's down to whether Steve Morrison can get those players to gel in time. And I've gone quite safe with Cardiff here, putting them in 16th place, but they could honestly be higher. But yeah, for now, Cardiff in 16th place. And coming in 15th place, I've got QPR. Yes, now QPR are under a new manager in Michael Beale, the ex-Aston Villa assistant manager. He's had no experience managing, number 1 manager, no experience being one of those. But yeah, so I don't know how well he's going to do. But QPR, they've signed some decent players. The likes of Tyler Roberts, I think, is a really, really good signing on loan from Leeds. Jake Clark-Salter, a defender from Chelsea on a permanent now. He spent last season on Coventry, he was decent. And also Taylor Richards, I think, could be a decent, squad player potentially, from Brighton as well. So again, maybe some of these teams I could push a little bit higher. Basically, all these teams in around mid-table are so hard to place. They could easily be switched around in our order. But yeah, in 15th place, I'm going for QPR. 14th place, they finished last season in 14th place, and I'm predicting them to finish in 14th place. Again, it is Stoke City. Now, I made myself look like a right mug, really, last season when I predicted Stoke to finish in the playoffs. Yeah, just some bit of advice when you're making championship predictions. Never predict Stoke to be in the playoffs. They always come mid-table. They always underachieve every season. I do like I do like some of their signings. You know, Dwight Gale, Josh Laron, Gavin Kilkenny on from Bournemouth. But I just feel like, you know, under a manager, Michael O'Neill, I don't feel like he's the greatest manager. You know, he's underachieved every season with Stoke. Every season he's managed with them. So yeah, I just feel like it's gonna be another underachieving season. Really, something always goes wrong at Stoke, whether it's an injury or whatever. Something always goes wrong, and then Stoke always underachieve and finish in around mid-table. But that is where I'm putting Stoke. So that's where I'm putting them in 14th. 13th place on the list, I'm putting Preston North End. Preston made some decent signings, to be fair. The likes of Freddie Woodman, I really like. Ben Woodburn could be a wild card, you know. Robbie Brady, yes, he's quite injury prone, but he is quite experienced, so that could help Preston maybe. They did lose Cameron Archer. You know, his loan spell did expire and he went back to Villa. But yeah, so I feel like they're gonna, if they don't get another striker, maybe they have an over reliance on Emil Reese to score the goals. But they could potentially move a little bit higher on the Ryan Lowe. I feel like they are going in the right direction under him. You know, I think Frankie McAvoy was not the right manager for Preston. I feel like Ryan Lowe is a good manager for them. But for now, I'm putting them in 13th place, where they finished last season exactly. But they could move a little bit higher. But we'll have to wait and see with Preston. Coming in at 12th place, it is my team, Bristol City. I am predicting us to have a 5-place improvement on our 17th place finish last season. We have made some pretty decent signings, you know. Our defence was a shambles, to put it frankly. Last season, an absolute shambles. We've improved our defence with the signings of Kane Wilson from Forest Green Rovers and Cal Naismith from Luton. Those are two really good bit of signs there. We've also signed Mark Sykes from Oxford and a backup goalkeeper, Stefan Bajic from Saint Etienne. And key outgoings, we've not really lost anyone to, you know, major really. Still kept likes of, you know, Semenyo, Vyman and Martin really, and also Masengo as well, and Alex Scott. Our key outgoers include the likes of Casey Palmer to Coventry, O'Dowda to Cardiff and Backinson to Sheffield Wednesday. So I feel like we can finish mid-table and have an improvement under Pearson. I feel like we can. I'm putting us slap bang in the middle of the table in 12th position. Yeah, hopefully I'm right with us, otherwise I'm gonna look like a right mug again. But yeah, that's where I'm predicting us to finish in 12th. Coming in at 11th then, we have Hull City. Now Hull have had a massive overhaul in their squad. They've lost pretty key players in Keane Lewis Potter and George Honeyman. They've also signed the likes of, you know, Seri from Fulham, Ozan Tufan. You know, they signed quite a lot of players, to be honest. Oscar Estepinian up front. They've just signed a load of players from the Turkish league. And Hull's a real wild card coming into next season. It could either shock the world and get promoted, or they could either have an absolute horror show of a season and get relegated. I just don't know if Hull, to be honest, but I'm going to put them in 11th and hopefully they finish somewhere around 11th. but that is where I'm putting Hull City in 11th place. And in 10th place, now this team finished in the playoffs last season, but this season I think we'll have a little bit of a drop off. It is Luton Town. Now, Luton, you know, they've lost Cal Naismith to my club Bristol City on a free transfer as well. I feel like that was a good bit of business by us. But yeah, that's only the real key player they've lost this season, really. And they have made some pretty good signings, though. I do like the signing of goalkeeper Ethan Horvath from Forest. When he played last season, he was pretty good. You know, when he was filling in for Samba. And yeah, I signed the likes of Alfie Doughty, like right wing back from Stoke. Signed Luke Freeman. I think he's a decent option there. And they've signed Corley Woodrow and Carlton Morris to rival Adebayo up front. So yeah, they have improved their squad. I will say Luton, but I think there's a lot more quality teams in the Championship this season. So I feel like Luton will just fall outside the playoffs this season and finish in 10th place. Coming in 9th, they finished 9th last season, and I correctly predicted them to finish in 9th last season. So I'm gonna do it again, and hope that I get it right once again. It is Millwall, of course. Now I do really like Millwall signings so far. The Leeds duo, Charlie Cresswell and Jamie Shackleton as well. Also, Benica Phobia on a permanent from Stoke. I think that was a good bit of business. But yes, they've lost the likes of Jed Wallace, but they have replaced him with Zion Fleming from Fortuna Sittard. He is a decent player. He was decent in the Eredivisie last year. So yeah, I think Millwall will challenge for the playoffs again. But unfortunately, you know, with Gary Rowett at the helm, they always seem to draw too many games. So I feel like drawing too many games is gonna hinder them trying to get into the playoffs. So I think they will just fall outside once again, finish in 9th. I'd love Mill to finish the playoffs, honestly. Imagine if I had Mill in the Premier League, that'd be crazy. But yeah, I've predicted them to finish in 9th place. Coming in 8th place then, it is Coventry City. Now, Coventry have signed Jonathan Panzo. He looks like a real player, by the way, on loan for Nottingham Forest as centre-back. He's already scored loads in pre-season. Also, Callum Doyle, another centre-back on loan from Man City. I do believe he was out on loan at Sunderland last season. Played pretty well in their promotion via the playoffs. And also Casey Palmer, they've signed from my club Bristol City. So they've made some decent signings. And yeah, they haven't really lost anyone to, you know, important really. But still got the likes of Gyökeres, Hamer and O'Hare at the time of recording. So I feel like Coventry can improve on their 12th place finish last season. You know, under Mike Robbins, they always seem to improve each season. I don't think this will be the season where they get playoffs. I feel like they're finishing 8th place, and then maybe next season, the season after this season, they will maybe be in top 6 potentially. But this is where I've got Coventry for now in 8th place. Coming in 7th place then, just missing out on the playoffs. This will probably be a shock to some of you guys. It's a newly relegated side, and it is Watford. Yes, now Watford obviously have a new manager in Rob Edwards, the ex-Forest Green Rovers manager, who did get promoted with them from League 2 to League 1. Now, I'm not too sure about him in the Championship, and it's always a struggle at Watford being a manager, you know, because Watford tend to sack, their manager at least every 3 months or so. It's ridiculous how harsh it is that Watford were with the sacking of managers. But yeah, I do like some of their signs, like Bayo from the Belgian league. He's a decent decent player. But yeah, apart from that, we haven't really signed anyone, and they've lost Foster. So I feel like Watford will miss out on playoffs this year. Make them a surprise to you guys, but I've got Watford in 7th place. Coming in 6th place then, just making it into the playoffs. The first team I've got in the playoffs. And it's just one I'm thrown in there really, is Swansea City. You know, every year you do tend to get a team that surprises everyone, finishes in playoffs. Last season it was Huddersfield, and I feel like this season it could be Swansea. You know, they've made some decent signings, like Harry Darling from NK Dons, Nathan Wood-Gordon from Middlesbrough. Um, yes, they've lost Flynn Downs for 12 million to West Ham, but I think they replaced him brilliantly with Joe Allen on a free transfer. I think that's a good bit of business. Letting the midfielder go for 12 million and get another midfielder on a free. They can still invest that 12 million in the squad. And yeah, I feel like Swansea are going in the right direction in Ross Martin. Yeah, last season it was a transitional season, but this season I feel like they could actually surprise a lot of people. You know, I feel like Pirlo and Obafemi working together is just scary, to be honest. I feel like they'll score a load of goals again like they did last season. And yeah, Swansea are the first team in my top 6. Coming in 5th place, then it is another newly relegated side. It's not Norwich, it is Burnley. Burnley under new management of Vincent Kompany. You know, they've been getting a lot of Man City players in, like sort of Howard Bellis, goalkeeper Muric, and yeah, loads and loads more. We've also signed, you know, likes of Josh Cullen, Samuel Bastian, and yeah, they've signed quite a lot of players, Burnley, just name a few, but they've also lost some big players, like sort of Nick Pope, Tarkowski and Ben Mee. So yeah, I don't know how well the company's going to adapt to the Championship, as it's never managed in England before. But yeah, I feel like Burnley's expectations have to be at least top 6. If they don't get top 6, it'll be an underachieving season in my opinion. And I think maybe we'll get top 6 and I'll put them in 5th place. Coming in 4th place, it is West Brom. And West Brom have got an amazing squad, honestly. Jed Wallace and John Swift, those signings are unbelievable, honestly. The only thing really holding them back is, like, I'm not quite sure about Steve Bruce as a manager at West Brom still, but I feel like I put them in my top 6 because I feel like the squad is capable of getting top 6. You know, like Daryl Dike coming back from injury now. I feel like West Brom last year, you know, they create loads of chances but they struggle to score goals. But I feel like with Daryl Dike in the side now, they will score goals more easily. You know, just look what he did with Barnsley a couple of years ago. He was absolutely fantastic for them. Get him into the playoffs. I feel like they'll do the same for West Brom. They have lost Sam Johnston to Chris Palace, so I'm not too sure about their goalkeeper situation, but for now, I put them in my 4th place. Coming in 3rd place, just missing out on automatic promotion. This was very hard to decide, but I've gone the Sheffield United. Yes, they've lost Morgan Gibbs-White. That is a bit of a blow, and David McGoldrick as well. So I'm not sure how well we're going to do going forward, but they've signed like sort of Kieran Clark from Newcastle and Tommy Doyle on loan from Man City. He did quite well out on Cardiff last season. And yeah, under Paul Heckingbottom, I feel like they're only improved on their 5th place finish. I don't think they're enough for top 2 just yet, so that's why I've got them in 3rd and just missing out on the top 2. Here we go then, we've made it to the top 2, and in my 2nd place, I've gone the Chris Wilder's Middlesbrough. Yes, they've lost, you know, Jed Spencer's out on Forest last year, and now he's gone back to Middlesbrough, but he's left to Tottenham for like 20 plus million. But I feel like they can invest that in like somewhere else on the pitch, particularly striker, because they're lacking a striker at the moment. But signs they signed Zach Steffen from Man City, Darren Lenihan from Blackburn, and Ryan Giles from Wolves. Three really very good signings there. Ryan Giles and Isaiah Jones bombing up and down each wing. It's just gonna be really entertaining to watch. I feel like if Middlesbrough can sign a striker, then they'll definitely be in top 2. But it's over between them and Sheffield United, and I'm just gonna edge Middlesbrough to be in top 2 actually. If they get a striker, then yeah, it'll just be the icing on the cake really. But 2nd place, I've gone for Middlesbrough. And then in 1st place, then I have gone for Norwich. Yes, it probably has come as no surprise to you guys. Norwich in um first place, the Yo-Yo Club of Championship. And yeah, I just think they'll win it. Their squad is definitely way too good for the championship. The likes of Pookie, Cantwell, you know, Max Aarons, and their signings have been pretty good as well. They haven't signed too many, but they've signed pretty good players in Sarah and Hayden. And yeah, I just think they'll win the league again if they keep most of their core group of players together. And yeah, that is where I think Norwich will finish in first place. But guys, that wraps up for my championship table predictions. If you disagree with any of them, do get your predictions down in the comments so I could react to them. And if you've enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you later. Goodbye.